Days,
You need
y'all.
to
I
you
gotta
gotta
train
brush
it
it. Yeah,
to
yeah.
work.
Your hair. Oh, your hair shirt. Yeah, you got to train it.
Hi,
What's up, everybody? We're
everyone.
back again.
Yesterday we had an abrupt
Disconnected.
disconnection.
Yeah, hopefully
Yeah,
the internet doesn't mess with us.
yeah,
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, we're supposed to hook up. We gotta remember to hook up my followers too.
Yeah, I'm about to add you here, and you should be able to tell your people.
Can I share
Hi.
it live?
You should be able to share live.
I don't know.
Hi. Hey, Michelle. What's up? Yesterday we got disconnected because our internet. You know what it is. You live out here. You live out here. You know the internet is not like New York or DC internet. Yeah, I just tagged you right there. JP's putting this on his at the timeline. All right, so today we are really excited. Are you excited? I'm excited.
I'm always excited.
I'm not always excited, but I'm excited. Hi, Berta. Ooh, you're right. Yeah, it was Mercury retrograde. So for today we're gonna talk about what does it mean to be present. It had to do it. It had to do it. It had to do it. We're gonna talk about how to be present and how to do it. All right, babe. So when is the first time you was like you heard the word present in that context?
Probably in the context of being present. Now, at my last full-time job, they were big on being present. So when you're in meetings, don't be on the phone. When you're in presentations, things like that, no distractions. Like my other job was completely unlike that. Everybody was like, all right, there's no problem. We don't care if you're on the phone. But this job was really more about being present and being aware of what was going on where you were at in the moment. And so that's when presence really came on to my radar. And then we started reading some books, The Power of Now by Tolle.
Eckhart Tolle.
Eckhart Tolle. And, that also brought that up for us. And, we're going back and now reading that stuff again. And it's really becoming more and more important as we go through our journey together.
What does present mean to you? Like, what does that mean to you?
It means really focusing on what I'm doing in the moment, being there, my mind is not floating. Is there not other thoughts coming into my mind? That voice isn't there. I'm truly like here with you. Like when I'm talking, I'm present, I'm listening. And sometimes even when you're talking, my brain is like, all right, what about that stuff we got to do later? Are we still playing basketball? And it's like really trying to make sure I'm just focused in the moment and paying attention to what's going on in the now, this second.
So this is the thing. I agree with you. To me, that's also what it is. It's not just being present physically, but just all your attention is focused on one thing. And since I've become more and more present, I've realized that I'm never just doing one thing. Like I'm always trying to sneak in another activity into whatever it is that I'm doing. So if I am cleaning, I'm listening to music while I'm cleaning, or I'm listening to a book while I'm cleaning. I don't clean that often. Instead of just reading or instead of listening to music, like I always find that I'm trying to compensate for my time, be like, okay, let's try to get as much as we can at once, which is multitasking because that's really what it is. And I hadn't realized how I'm rarely present on one thing at once only. Like there's always something going around. And if my mind, if you factor that in, the thinking mind, I'm constantly like in the future or in the past. Like I'm either like, oh man, I wish I could have done this differently, or oh, if I had a chance, like, well, if I see
do this again,
if I see something on social, oh man, why didn't I think about that? Like
you said something this morning, you're like, why didn't I come up with that idea?
Yeah, because we're gonna share something with y'all that we're gonna start doing. So I definitely, my mind always goes there. Okay, Michelle says, do you find that it's okay to do that? To let the mind wander? Are you asking about letting the mind just kind of do its thing? Because if you're asking about letting the mind do its thing, there's a difference between having the thoughts and believing the thoughts and acting on the thoughts because you think you are the thoughts. And I think the thoughts come to our mind sometimes. Let's use an example, something on the lines of like, let's say you wanted to launch a project and you were holding back because you felt like, oh, multitasking. Okay, so it's okay to multitask. I'm learning that it doesn't serve me.
Yeah,
because
I'm becoming less and less a fan of multitasking.
I'm trying to multitask less and less every day because I'm realizing that I don't do the best I could do because my attention is divided. Like if I'm doing this live right now, and then I'm trying to also be on my phone and have other conversations, my attention is not fully here. So I'm just really realizing that multitasking is becoming a not for me, dog.
I'm starting to not do it. Even the main thing I would multitask with was I would do music whenever I was working, or if I had to watch this or something. But now I've just really come to start taking that time to think, because there's like input always coming in, and I like to learn, I like to read. So like if I have a moment, I'm like, all right, what else can go in? And it's like sometimes if some things that you put in need time to marinate, you need to let it, to actually think about it. That's when creativity actually happens, is when you're actually kind of chilling, doing the mundane tasks, taking showers or whatever. So I use that time to kind of listen to my mind and see what's actually going on with the random chatter, and listen to it and then acknowledge that it's there, and then actually use that as a benefit. So I'm finding multitasking on less and less things, even like eating lunch and watching something. Like even that, I'm finding that I'm so busy. The food is good. Like I'm into the dish, and I'm not truly enjoying the food if I'm watching the TV, and I'm not learning what I'm trying to learn if I'm eating the food. So
we were just watching Super Soul Conversations with Oprah. She actually has a series with Eckhart Tolle where they go into a book called A New Earth, which is an amazing book. Highly recommend it. And we were watching them, and Eckhart Tolle was talking about like being present and, just really paying attention to what's going on to your surroundings. He's really big on nature. And then suddenly I realized, like, I'm not doing one thing right now. Like, I'm watching TV, I'm trying to have lunch, I'm trying to enjoy my food. And that's how a lot of us eat so much food, more than our body needs, because we're not eating mindfully. Like, we're just eating and we think we're not full because we haven't processed the fact that we just ate 2 bags of chips or whatever it is that we ate. So I definitely think that that's a place where I'm going to be working a lot more personally, just really being more mindful around what I'm eating and how much of it I'm eating, and enjoying like what I eat. Like a lot of times I think we don't really enjoy our food because we are just
throwing it in there.
And then they were like, oh, I ate this whole meal. Like I'm hungry.
So
like I look like
already.
I ate. Yeah. So that to me is a place where being present has really shown up. And even when we go on like walks, so where we live, there is a lake, and I like to walk around the lake. I usually use that time to think. And Eckhart Tolle was like, are you being present there? Because you're going for your walk, you're missing out on the walk, you're missing out on the break, you're missing out on being present in that space, that instead of focusing on thinking. So a lot of us, I think, are always multitasking or finding ways to multitask because we don't think that one thing is worthy of our time.
And the brain wants to do more. Like my hands, I picked up this thing and my hands to start playing with it. I'm like, put that down. We're supposed to be paying attention here. So it's that easy for, our minds to take us in a direction. It's because the mind is is made to really keep us safe. It's made to keep us on the defensive. So it's always thinking of ways to protect us and to make sure our DNA is going to be passed down, and that doesn't always serve us in the moment.
Absolutely.
When we're trying to be in the present.
Absolutely. Okay, Michelle says, a group that I'm in has us listening to a particular Abraham Hicks video for 30 days. And I was doing it while working and finding that I'm not catching the info.
Yeah.
You're probably not. And the thing about it is, like, your subconscious is probably picking it up because the sound is coming in. It's kind of like when people fall asleep with the TV on. They don't realize it, but they're absorbing all the stuff that's on the TV.
Right. So that's better than nothing.
So just you receiving it is getting somewhere in your subconscious, but that doesn't mean that you can grab it as easily because your conscious mind doesn't know where it is at, but your subconscious mind knows where it's at. So I think there's a little bit of there. Hey, everyone, if you're just joining us, we are talking about what does it mean to be present and how to do it. Drop some questions for us in the comments. If you got questions, if you got thoughts, whatever, put it in there, and we're gonna share some thoughts on it. So one thing that the crazy thing, this is going to sound a little wild, but your mind wonders even when you don't think it needs to wonder. Even when I'm having sex, sometimes my mind is like,
right?
And I'm like, wait. There's something going on here.
Yeah, all over the place. Like, why else would I want? Like, what I want is right here in front of me. Literally, it's right here. What I've been looking for all day, and my mind is like, oh yeah, what about that project we're doing tomorrow?
And when that happens, I think it's a sign that you haven't given yourself a space to see what's going on in your mind. Because I think the mind is constantly fighting for attention because you don't consciously give it attention. We're not consciously.
Girl, I'm an Aries too, so I'm always
thinking.
Thinking.
It's like the thinking mind doesn't take a break, and it's draining. Like, are y'all tired? I feel like whenever yeah, you could do it right here. Sorry, JP's learning how to utilize this. You gotta hold. No. I don't know. It's not working right here. So yes, I just find like the mind just kicks in whenever it wants to. Sometimes it's something completely unrelated, something that completely happened even years ago, and suddenly, boom, it comes to the forefront of the mind. So I read this quote. I wish I could remember it, but it was verbatim. You have to stand as a soldier at the gates of your mind or something like that. But the idea that you have to be guarding every thought that comes in so that you're not becoming that thought. Like we were watching A New Earth series with Oprah and Eckhart Tolle, and they talked about how people become their thoughts, and because they take things personally. There he goes. So suddenly you become, hey. Suddenly you become, you take something personally. Let's say I told JP something and he takes it personally. Now he has become that emotion. He's upset and he starts treating me with anger and resentment. And a lot of us get the thought and we become the thought and then act on that thought. So if you feel like somebody says something to you at work and you felt like, oh, maybe this person's intentions were to try to attack me or something, come at me, check me, try to act like they know who I am. Now suddenly the thought has come through your mind and you have become that thought. So now it's not a thought. Now the thought is alive because you have given it life. And next thing you know, when you send in your email, you're like, per my last email, I don't tell you. That's like corporate for
standard.
Get out my face. Per my last email, per the email attached. Like you're feeling the need to defend yourself, and that's usually the ego. So that's a whole nother world. We probably
anytime you want to come back is the ego. When you want to get the last word in,
that's the ego.
You want to feel like you're getting something out of it, like they're not gonna step all over me. They don't know who they're messing with. Yada yada yada. That's
definitely the ego. That's definitely the ego. We're probably gonna be talking more about that with this project we're gonna tell you about by the end of this video. How to be more present. Let's talk about that. So one way that you can be more present is to be aware of what's going on in the moment by engaging your senses. There's a meditation. Oh my God, I feel like there's so much resources we're sharing with y'all right now. I feel like I gotta put them in the comments. There's a meditation that we have been using on the Calm app, and it helps you by focusing on 3 things: on sound, on sight, and on feel. So whenever you are in a situation, you're constantly monitoring what can you hear, what can you see, and what can you feel, whether it's through touch in the outer body or within. Like, do you feel like your energy is not flowing properly? And if you don't know what this means you have to spend some time in silence and like still. Because if you're like, what do you mean is my energy inside flowing properly? What are you talking about? There's energy there. What's going on? If that's your face right now, then that means you want to start spending some time in solitude, some time meditating, sometimes just being quiet so that you can get familiar with these feelings that you have with yourself and in your body. So engage in your senses. If you are in a place and there's sound, just really listen for the sound. And there's always sound, whether it's the sound that my fingers are making right now, which is really faint. You may not hear it, but it's there. It might be the sound of the street or the person I'm with. Like there might be sound that you can get that you can hold on to that can help you stay present in the moment. So that when your mind comes in, you're like, right now we're paying attention to this and we're really listening for whatever is going on. Michelle says silence. Yeah, silence. You need to quiet down a little bit so you can know what's going on. A lot of us are full of noise The noise in social media, the noise on the news, the noise or our text messages.
Noise in our head already.
The voices that tell us who we need to be. A lot of us have an image of who we think we need to be. I know that's something I definitely have been working on releasing, this image of perfection that I think perfect Nori looks like. We have that image in our minds, and that image keeps us from achieving things because we feel that needs to be how we behave. That needs to be what we be confined to. And the image you have in your head of who you need to be is not, it might not be who you are here to be. You might be here to do greater things than that. And you have limited yourself by putting yourself in a box when you are no box. Your abundance is able to do so many different things. How else have you been able to be more present? I know that's something that you've been recently getting into.
For me, it's been a lot about the sound and the senses. So whenever, like, I had a situation when I was washing my hands and I knew I was way into the future, so I started listening to the water, paying attention to the feeling of me rubbing my hands together. At night, when I'm laying, I'm thinking like, I don't hear the sounds. Like, I was sitting up maybe a couple of nights ago and had a lot of apparently on my mind, and I was like, let's just listen to the silence. And I was like, oh, there's crickets outside. Like, I totally missed the fact that crickets were outside going, wow. And then I think about it, they're loud, right? Right. And I was just totally oblivious to it because I'm in my own world, doing my own thing and in my own thoughts. So that's been really helpful. And I also had another realization today about more of the senses around smell and having the diffusers and the incense. That's another way to stay present, because if you smell that, you're like, oh, what's that smell? Well, that smell is here and now. It's kind of like if you walk past like a pizza and you smell it and you're like, oh, I want pizza later. It's actually using that kind of same principle where I smell the fragrances. I'm like, oh, that's my home. I'm here. That's where I'm at now. And it brings you back down to the present.
Hi, Angie. I think the one more thing that has really helped me stay present is whenever
What's up, Albert?
There it goes, the hearts.
There you go.
Whenever I'm in a situation and I see my mind drifting, first of all, you have to understand that it's going to take you a while to get to some of the stages that we're talking about. Because if you're just now for the first time hearing the word present or presence, you're like, what is that? I have no idea what that means. Essentially what this means is that you are constantly, right now, if you're anything like us or like other humans, I don't know, there's a lot of thinking that's going on in the mind. You're constantly thinking, whether you're thinking about the past or the future, there's constantly always a lot of thought going on up here. And you may even think that's normal. That's how everybody is. Everybody thinks like that. And that's okay. But if there's a chance that it isn't, and sorry to be very bad news, but it's not normal, and you are able to not think all the time. You can have breaks from all those thoughts. You can have breaks from always thinking about the future, always thinking about the past, talking to yourself negatively, like all that stuff. You can break from those patterns. But in order for that to happen, you have to first pay attention to it so you can see them. So when someone tells you something and it gets you out of character, people like say, take me out of character, pay attention to what was that? What did they say to you that took you out of character? JP and I have gotten really good at not taking things personally as a couple, but it wasn't always like that. So earlier when I used to monitor myself, I used to pay a lot of attention, like, what did he say to me that triggered me to have an attitude? What did he say to me that, quote unquote, made me feel this way? Because, we love to say that. Anytime you're ready to be like, so-and-so made me feel this way, pay attention to that.
I resent you. It's
I remember that time you was like, I don't want to resent you. I was like, well, first of all, relax.
Right.
Calm down.
You're putting all that on somebody else. It's you, bro.
Right. Like, why are you dropping all of that on me? Like, I did something.
You need to change it. Change something about you so I can change something about me.
Exactly. So if this is the first time you hear the term presence, you have to understand that you're going to have to monitor yourself. You're going to have to notice all the thinking going on. And when you start to not notice the thinking, when you start to see, oh my God, I see these thoughts, when that starts to happen, you're tapping into that presence and you feel this sense of calmness. Like your mind is not going at 1,000% or speed, whatever the number is. And you actually don't feel tense. You feel at ease with what's going on. And you can actually even hear your breath. Like right now, if you take a moment to take a deep breath in, you probably are more present than you were 5 seconds ago. And that's really what being present is all about. It's about taking time to acknowledge the moment and not to resist it. Oh my God, the resistance. Are y'all resisting as hard as I'm resisting?
That's
I hope not.
A whole series of videos of resistance.
Resistance. Okay.
But even now, my mind's wandering. It's like, I wonder if we can do this on my channel next time. So,
Yeah, we could do it on your channel. It's cool.
But I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to be here listening.
There's no such thing as I'm not supposed to. You pay attention to what is, and then you can determine what you keep and what you release.
Yeah, and I was releasing it, so I came and listened to your voice.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah. I'm releasing it.
You're releasing it, right?
But it's still here because it's back. We're talking about it.
So, one thing JP and I love to do is, so we share with you how to be more present, engage your senses. When you're in a situation, listen to the sounds, and as soon as you hear it, kind of whisper to yourself, "Here," so you can be like, "Oh, I'm hearing for it." If you are seeing something, just really focus on looking for it, looking at what you're looking at. See if there's something you hadn't noticed before. Sometimes the eyes, I don't know if you know, but your eyes are really tricky. Your eyes can show you something in 1 minute, and the next minute you're like, what the fuck was that? That's not what I saw the first time. What's going on? So really taking a moment to be like, okay, I see now. I'm seeing these things. And then feel. What do things feel like? What does the texture feel like? Can you feel it with your feelings? Does someone make you feel warm and fuzzy, or are they like, stay away from me, you kind of creep? You know what I mean? Like, what is that? What does that feel like? Those are ways that you can be more present. And if you ever feel like, how can I be present right now? Take a deep breath. Take a moment to take a deep breath, and that alone is going to make you feel more present because you're going to be more aware of the space. And the more you notice you're not present, the more present you are. So any moment you're like, I'm not present right now, you're already present.
You're already taking a big step.
You're already there. So JP and I are going to be doing something fun. It's an idea he had. I was a little salty with my idea, but it's our idea. It's our idea. We are going to start creating videos around, tell them about it. It's your idea.
Why you go that far and then you tell me to tell him about it?
Tell about it.
It's just we're gonna be talking about more of the books that we're reading, and sharing the lessons we've learned. Mm-hmm. We've been taking some time recently to really reflect on, who we are and what it is that we truly want to do. Mm-hmm. We have our different brands, we have our different businesses, but we've taken at least the past week and really just spent time kind of not rushing things, letting things come, like listening to our mind, listening to the things that we're trying to do, as opposed to really just more focused on go, get done. And, it's really been fruitful for the past week. And, I'm learning a lot about myself along with this process. And part of that is coming up with the idea to talk more about the books we're reading and sharing them with you guys. Getting you involved in the conversations, and really helping people understand the importance of these concepts and principles, because a lot of times people don't have time to read, or they may not be big readers, but they want this information and they want to make a change in their life. And I think in the position that we're in a really good position to help people do that, because we do love to help people and we do love to read. So it's kind of a marriage of a lot of the things we love to do. So more to come on that.
We're excited.
Ideas.
You'll look out for it. You'll see our new episodes coming tomorrow starting. So essentially, we're going to be sharing with you our favorite books, and we're going to be taking you through the books. Now, as it stands, we're going to be reading the books and sharing with you what comes up every chapter. So if you want to tag along with us, we probably will be sharing what books we're going to start with. What should we start with?
We'll figure out that out, babe. We're here.
I'm excited. I'm excited for y'all.
What we want to do later, but that's what's coming.
So that's what we're going to be doing.
So even the stuff we're sharing with you today is from a book we've been reading.
Yep.
And from a couple books by the same author, but around the same subject. So more to come on that, guys.
Absolutely. So recap. We have to be more present. One thing that Eckhart Tolle shared with us in all his different books that we've looked at is that all we have is right now. The past is the now that happened already, and the future is the now that's going to happen later. Everything is always happening right now. even you watching this is happening right now. Whether you're watching it as we're going live, or you watch it later, or you watch it a year from now, it's still be in a now, in a moment that's happening in your life right now. So if there's been anything that you've been waiting to start, yesterday I posted that we went boxing. We went boxing, y'all. We went boxing. It was so much fun.
We did. They said I was too in the zone because I was punching her in the face.
JP had my glasses. First of all, let me show y'all. Like I don't have a picture.
How you
of
gonna
it,
show us?
but this is how my glasses end up
First
looking.
of all, the person went
This
to
is how my
boxing.
glasses
She went to
end up
boxing with glasses on. Okay.
Well,
I just
buy me contacts then. But this is what my glasses was looking like after JP was done practicing with me. And I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to come at me like
you get
that.
these hands. You get these hands.
Mind you, everybody was throwing like air punches. Not JP. He's like, I'm gonna commit myself to this because he was throwing real punches, and I'm like, bro, why my glasses look like that? He's out of control. We went boxing. It was great. We're really excited about being more active and living more because we have been really stuck on work mode.
Not living, just working, not being present.
We're tired of that. We're tired of that. So we're super excited to start doing new things together.
That Aries Fire. That's my boxer name, Aries Fire, right?
Don't give him any ideas, Michelle, please. Please do not waken the beast. Of course, you will go ahead and like that. So we are excited to share with you how we are living more. So this week we went to boxing. We signed up for the gym. So we're gonna be checking it out on a regular basis. Yeah. Michelle, you should definitely come check it out with us if you want to come to the St. Pete side of town. I know Tampa be like, I ain't trying to come over there. But it's really nice. There's a really diverse group too. I was really surprised by that. But I'm sore. I could lift my arms barely.
The obliques right here.
My obliques are hurting, but I'm about to be on it.
My arm is sore right here.
So yeah, it was pretty dope. So we're excited to share more how we are enjoying life.
Yeah.
And what kind of things we are doing. So boxing was one thing this week. JP is now playing more basketball than before. And I just really been taking time to be honest with what's going on in our life right now. And I think that's part of you living more is seeing, okay, this is my situation. These are the things that I would like to be different. But right now I accept that this is my situation and I am open to whatever I can learn from this situation. And I think at the core of it, that's what being present is being in the state of curiosity about what's happening around you and being available to what he has to teach you. One thing that Eckhart Tolle said that really stuck to me today was, are you ready to create space for the life that you have? Like if this is what we have, if this is us, if this is what we're going to be doing, are we ready to have that space for y'all, for us to do it in this way? And I don't know if I've ever really looked at my life like that. I feel like I have been feeling like life is happening. And now it's like, no, we are all life. And to be in a space where you can do that, it's really, really powerful. Do you have a birthmark on the right side of your head? It looks cool. Yes, I do. This is the right side? The right side? Yes, right there. I've always had that spot.
Her old lady patch.
It's my old lady patch. So, yeah. Are you ready to create space for the life you have right now instead of trying to change it over and over again?
If you are available,
if you're ready.
This is what we're looking for.
Out of
All
control.
right, guys.
We'll be sharing more. Thank you for stopping by and spending time with us. I look forward to sharing more of our updates on the boxing. And we will see you next time.
This is guys. See you later. Bye.